That's it. I tried the best.
For now, it's fine.
Okay. Okay, how we go?
Okay, so what I have done is I have uploaded some slides. I don't think we will get to it today, but definitely tomorrow we will get to those slides. So those slides are for Android programming. So as we discussed that in a week, 1.5 days you spend doing Android programming and 3.5 you spend doing theoretical stuff. So the slides I have uploaded, but I think we will discuss them next class. I'm also uploading the video as I'm recording this one, so you should be able to watch the previous class video by the end of this one. So watch the videos and let me know whether the quality is fine, you can hear me or not, those kind of things. If not, then I'll have to find out the options. This class, the recorder is pretty far. In previous classes I had recorded that were nearby, but I don't have a charger to plug in my laptop. Only port is here. So I have it. But that is also too far. No? Or maybe that is better. From next time. Okay. So we were discussing some system models, right? Today is the So we were discussing some system models. One of the system model that we said was that we had the smartphone and we had the cloud and we could communicate using Wi-Fi than 4G, right? Then we discussed that there was a Fox server, but we'll come to the Fox server a little bit later. So let's say this is the third system model. This was the second system model that we discussed. And modification to this system model could be addition of sensors, external sensors, right? And these external sensors can be of many types. What types of external sensors can there be? This can be medical sensors. This can be medical actuators, wearable sensors that are non-medical, or any other wired or wireless devices. Right? So, what is an example of medical sensor? Maybe cardiac sensor, ECG, electrocardiograms, right? Example of actuators. How many of you have heard about artificial pancreas? Anybody heard about artificial pancreas? Closed loop blood glucose control systems. Wearable artificial pancreas, nobody has heard about. So, what you need to do is you need to study on these. Let's do this first. Artificial pancreas. What do? They have this is a control system. What is a control system? Control system is there is a plant. Plant is typically a physical system, maybe human body or nuclear power plant or some mechanical system. Right? So in that plant, there are some sensors on that plant. So what do the sensors do? The sensors collect data from that plant, so that if somebody can monitor or observe what is going on inside the plant. Then there are actuators in the plant. What does the actuator do? They input some certain do some mechanical inputs to the plant. So, for example, if the temperature in the plant goes very high, it can introduce cooling water. Right? Cool water it can introduce into the plant. So, if the plant is water cooled. So those kind of actuations, starting the water supply or starting the air conditioning unit, those are actuation mechanisms. Right? So you have some sensors, you have some actuations. Then a controller. What does a controller do? Controller is like software. It's a software. It takes the sensor outputs as input, right? And based on the sensor readings, it chooses what level of actuation it has to do. Now, what motivates that choice? There is a typical set point. So the controller gives only that amount of actuation that will take the plant to a particular set point. A very simple example is a simple example is let's say this classroom, right? Air conditioning. Air conditioning is a very simple example. So let's say you have this classroom, right? Now there is a sensor. Let's say this is the classroom, right? So it has a lot of sensors. One of the sensors is a thermostat, or thermal sensor. This senses the temperature in this class, right? So thermal sensor is one of the sensors, and one of the actuator is the actuator is the AC power, air conditioning unit power. So which means that if you increase the power of the AC unit, more cool air will come into the room. So that is an actuation point where you are increasing the AC power unit and it is delivering more cold air. So if you deliver more cold air, what will happen? That the temperature of the room will go down, right? Now there is a controller. This is our controller. What does the controller do? A controller or control unit. Control unit is just a software. It takes two inputs. First, this sensor input, the sensor data, the thermal sensor data as input, and it also takes a set point. Set point is what? It is our thermostat reading. So there must be some thermostat here also. Is there any thermostat in that area? Like some display where you can change the temperature in the room. It might be in the inside that unit room, right? So there is a dial basically. So you can change that dial to say what temperature do you want inside the room. So that is the set point, and that is also called the thermostat. So by changing the thermostat, this is right behind you. Yes. That's the thermostat. That's a very primitive thermostat. You have like a lever, small plastic lever. You change, move it up to heat up the room, move it down to cool down the room. Right. So we're using that by just changing that. That is the set point. So you get the set point. You get the thermal sensor. The software does some computation and finds out what is the AC power that you need. How much AC power should you give at that moment in order to take or keep the room temperature close to the set point. There are many different types of control strategies we won't go into. So that's a simple controller, right? Now the artificial pancreas system is also a controller. What happens in here? There is a glucose meter. Which one is the glucose meter? This one. There is a glucose meter. What does it do? It uses a very small needle and it pierces just the skin. It doesn't go to the blood. It pierces the skin. And from the tissue fluid inside the skin, it measures the blood glucose level. And then through a wireless module that is there in the sensor also, typically Bluetooth, it sends this reading to a controller. The controller software can either be in a smartphone or it can be in a dedicated computational device. Right? It can also be in a smartphone. Now the smartphone, inside the smartphone there is this controller software which runs and it gives an output. What is that output? The output is how much insulin do you need to pump into the system so that you can control the blood glucose level of that person. So these people are suffering from type 1 diabetes. There are many different types of diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is the case where you have diabetes from birth. If your pancreas is defective, they cannot secrete insulin. So insulin is the primary chemical that can control blood glucose level. Everybody has insulin except the type 1 diabetes patients. They do not have it. They just cannot create insulin. So they have to get outside insulin. So this big black thing is the insulin pump. So what it has a supply of insulin. So this is a bag of insulin that is there, and it has that needle. This one is the needle. So this needle goes into the bloodstream, and whenever the smartphone controller comes up with some insulin infusion value, right? Following some algorithm. It says that okay, at this moment we have to include this much insulin in order to control the blood glucose level. So once it comes up with that, this pump infuses that insulin, right? So this is one example of smartphone-driven medical controller that is there in the market. So you can use this, you can buy this. This was first marketed in Australia. Now you can imagine that this is a very sophisticated system and very critical system. And if this system goes wrong, it can infuse a lot of insulin at once and it can cause harm to the patient. A lot of insulin is not good, which means it will bring down blood glucose level and it will go into hypoglycemia, which means blood glucose level is too low. If it is too low, then you might die. So that's a big problem. It's a critical application. But what is the system model of this application? It is the third system model that we are talking about. So you have some wearables, medical sensors, which is maybe glucose meter in this case, or which is called CGM, continuous glucose monitoring system. Sensor, continuous glucose monitoring sensor, CGM. So you have this CGM, and then the actuator is an insulin pump. Right? And the plant in this case is the human body. So you have this exact same architecture. So this sensor sends some data to the smartphone. The smartphone can also send out some data to the actuator. All this happens through short-range wireless communication. So maybe Bluetooth, NFC. In that case, it was Bluetooth. So those kind of communication. So this is another system model. What are the issues with this system model? Let's discuss the issue. What problem do you see with the artificial pancreas design? It does not need a server. But I have said that it might, whatever glucose level it senses, it might just send it to a server for health record purposes. That can happen.
User handling is important.
But
User handling. And if the user makes a mistake, then the system itself might.
so there is a problem. The user might be harmed, right? So in that case, safety is a very important problem. Safety, or specifically, the patient safety. Patient safety is a very important term that is used in this area a lot. Right? Patient safety, you have to have patient safety in this kind of mobile computing applications. So patient safety is important. So we are saying that user handling, if user makes any mistake in this kind of system, then it can be not only user. If they say, so we are engineers, we are not doctors, right? When we write code, we make 1,000 mistakes, and then 1,000 times we get a correct code. Then maybe that can also have mistakes. But in case of a doctor who is doing surgery or who is giving medication, he cannot make 1,000 mistakes. It's just one mistake and the patient is gone, right? So in that case, you have to ensure that this software that was written doesn't have any bugs that cause problems with the infusion. So it cannot have any or not a single bug. It has to do whatever it wants to do, whatever it was required to do. Right? Any software bug that exists in this kind of system, it can be legal, can cause big problem. What kind of software problems can exist? Many different things. We will talk about that in little later about that. when we are discussing security, right? For example, buffer injection, input validation, those kind of problems can occur in the software implementation, right? So that is one problem. What other problems can be there? Yes, okay, energy. That's what you said, right? Energy. Energy because these are wearable sensors, and you wouldn't want a person to take out this needle and charge it every day, right? You wouldn't want that. Once the needle is there, it should stay there for at least a week or a month. So in that case, energy becomes a very important factor. You have to have an energy efficient mechanism of operating these sensors. That's a very important factor. Now, what is the primary energy draining operation for these sensors? Communication. If you want to continuously send data, then you have to keep the radio on and it will drain the energy. Now, how frequently do you need to send data? In this particular example of artificial pancreas, data is sent every 30 minutes. 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes, continuous glucose monitoring data is sent to the controller, and the controller operates every 30 minutes. Every 30 minutes, it takes a decision to infuse insulin. So every 5 minutes, if you send data, then how long can the sensor last? So that analysis you have to do. So that is another level of another concern that you might have to address for this kind of system model. So specifically, the question of energy and how much communication you need to make in order to have a reliable representation of the signals that are coming in from a plant. That question is very important, and several different research areas focus on that question. Right? What should be the sampling rate? What should be the sampling rate, or how can you reduce the sampling rate and still have a reliable representation of the signals coming in from the plant? That is a very important research area that goes off topic mobile computing, but mobile computing uses those kind of research results. So how many of you have heard about data compression? Data compression? I can't believe just 4. I think many of you have heard. Data compression you use every day. When you see an image in your smartphone, that image is already compressed, right? That image is compressed and transformed. So JPEG, PNG, all these they use different forms of compression. What does JPEG mean? Anybody know? How does JPEG compress images? Have anybody heard about wavelet transform? Discrete wavelet transform, DWT. You have heard?
Fourier and discrete.
No, that's not Fourier. Fourier is different. Wavelet transform, DWT, discrete wavelet transform. Do you know what happens when you apply discrete wavelet transform to an image? Yes, pixels will be changed, but what is the result? The result is so when you take an image using a camera, right? That image, if you take 2 pixels, so let's say I took this particular frame. If I take 2 pixels, then more likely than not, those 2 pixels have the same RGB value. More likely than not. Why? Because if I take this frame and if I look at pixel areas in that area, that is the wall, that wall 2 pixels will have the same RGB value. Right? So what this means is that a lot of the area of an image is redundant. You don't have things of interest in that image. So even if you don't have half of that portion, you can still regenerate the other half because you know that the other half is similar. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? So if you take an image, you see most of the portion is similar to some other portion. So 2 pixels you take, highly probable that these 2 pixels have the same RGB value. This is the code, this is the basic understanding of image compressed data. So JPEG, PNG, PostScript, those kind of things, they use this basic understanding of an image to compress it. So what happens when you do DWT transformation on an image, discrete Wavelet transforms? What it does is that it can take an image, and it has that property that it can take an image and it can select the portions that are similar, the portions where sharp changes do not occur. It can take those portions and group them into certain areas of the image. So that portion where there is nothing much going on, it's just a wall, will be grouped at a certain place. This portion will be grouped at the same place because it's similar. These two portions have very little change. So these two portions will be grouped in the same class. So what you have is that if you do DWT transformation, then this image becomes sparse. Do you know what is sparse? Sparse means, what is a sparse matrix? Anybody know what is a sparse matrix?
Very far non-zero values.
Very few non-zero values. A matrix which is very big, but it has very few non-zero values. So if you have this sparse matrix, you can neglect this non-zero values and only represent the neglect the zero values and only represent the non-zero values. Now what you can do is from these non-zero values, when you want the original picture back, then you introduce this zero value because you know these are zero. Just pad these non-zero values with some zero, apply the inverse DWT, and you get an image. That is the core algorithm used by JPEG compression. Right? So similar algorithms you can use for wearable sensors. You can use same type of algorithms for wearable sensors and reduce the sampling rate drastically. Because now you know that most of the data of this sensor is redundant. So why sample? Don't sample. So that kind of technique, that kind of sampling reduction, anybody know what is it called? Have you heard of compressive sensing? Anybody has heard about compressive sensing? So that type of sensing is called compressive sensing. Now you might think that I am going off topic mobile computing. But no, these are very important technologies that mobile computing systems use. If you don't know, if you don't at least hear about these technologies, then that mobile computing class you won't learn it. I cannot just talk about mobile applications. Mobile applications is just a small part of mobile computing. You have to learn about these basic technologies that make mobile computing possible. So in case of these wearable sensors, if I have, so continuous glucose monitoring is one data every 5 minutes. Not a big deal. Very low sampling rate. Do you know what is the sampling rate of accelerometers? The one that are used in your phone? And you shake and the phone does something. Those are obtained from accelerometer, gyroscope, orientation sensors. Right? Do you know what is the sampling rate of those? Of the order? Like in 1 second, how many data points will you get? 60 milliseconds. Per data point? That is too high sampling rate. Sampling rate for those systems are like 1 data point per second. Right? 1 data point per second or maximum 10 data points per second. So 10 hertz or 1 hertz frequency. Or if you go crazy, then maybe at most 50 hertz, 50 data points a second. That is still very low. Right? Even if you have those kind of data points, the sensor will last for a long time. But now if we go into brain sensors or heart sensors, cardiac sensors, do you know what is the sampling rate of cardiac sensors? It's around 250 to 500 hertz. So 500 data points every second. So if I attach a cardiac sensor to a smartphone and expect that sensor to work for 3 days, not happening. The state of the art cardiac sensor can only last for 12 hours. Continuous monitoring. Right? So if you want to develop a mobile computing application that detects whether a person is having heart problems or not using the mobile phone. So you install a heart sensor and you connect to the mobile phone and you want to monitor that person. How long do you need to monitor a person to understand whether he has heart problems or not? Probably a week, probably 2 weeks, months in some cases. Right? But your sensor will not last even 2 hours. So will you ask every time the sensor goes out, will you ask the person to reinstall sensors twice a day? They won't use that application. So how do you design those things? You have to use those kind of techniques, compressive sensing and data compression. You have to know about those. So the moment you go and try to develop a mobile application, you have to think of all these things. Mobile computing is not just mobile phones. Right? They have to think of all these things, and that's why you will find me going off topic a lot of times while discussing mobile computing. Because it's not possible. It's not possible to just focus on mobile computing applications. So energy is a very important thing. And here, we have discussed a lot of things. We have discussed compressive sensing. We have discussed other forms of data compression and all those things. What are the other problems if you have wearable sensors? Oh, so cardiac sensor is 500 hertz. Brain sensor is even more. It's in the range of kilohertz. Right? So that's even more problematic. Okay, so apart from that, what are the other problems that you can experience? Yes? Storage, yes. Sensors do not have storage. They have to continuously communicate. How many of you have worked with sensors? External sensors, not the smartphone sensors. Anybody what kind of sensors did you use? Pressure, temperature. Do you know whether that was a generic sensing platform or some specific, just the temperature sensor or what? Do you know the brand name of that sensor? Do you have done sensor programming or no? Okay. So, do you know how much memory did it have? Memory? Several bytes. Yes. So a typical sensor platform has what? Has a microcontroller, some network. It doesn't even have a CPU. So it has a microcontroller, some network. How much RAM does it have? Maybe 4 KB of RAM. Right? It just has 4 KB of RAM. Storage maybe 256 KB of flash drive. That's it. And in there you have to do. You have to execute all this sensing algorithms. So it is very difficult. So storage in a sensor is very problematic. So you cannot store a lot of data. What else? So basically what we can say is that the entire sensor is very resource constrained. So not only storage, but even computation is poor because it just has a microcontroller, doesn't even have a CPU. Very low amount of RAM and so on. So let me show you an example of a sensor. Let's see this. So I will show you a primitive sensor. Not the this is a velocity sensor. This was developed maybe 10 years back, very partly. Some professors involved. So what is this velocity sensor? It has a microcontroller. The microcontroller is this one. And it is the MSP430 microcontroller. It has a radio, and the modulation chip of that radio is this one. It was called CC2420 sensor. So this is what this uses the modulation technique of Zigbee. Anybody heard of Zigbee? But it's pretty old. Like now everybody has to do it. So it has this microcontroller, it has this communication module. These are all sensors. So this is light intensity sensor, this is temperature sensor, there is some microphone somewhere here, I forgot where, and so on. So the humidity sensor is also there. Now it has an antenna. Anybody can point to the antenna? This one you know this is the antenna. But for this one, where is the antenna? Can you tell me where is the antenna? Do you see an imprint of F here? This is the F here, F, right? Do you see an imprint of F? That is the antenna. Right? So this is an inverted F antenna. So inverted F antenna. So if you can see that this is a very small area in which the antenna is there, right? This very small area. Now, what is this hump? This black hump, what is this? Any idea what is this black hump? Yes? No. That. Right? So you see that the entire sensor is this thin PCB board. And how much is the battery? So almost more than 90% of the entire area is covered by the battery. Right? Why? Because battery technology did not really scale that much. It did not scale with respect to our CPU technology or chip technology. It did not scale as fast. So that's why we still have bigger batteries, bigger power sources. So laptop is this much, an entire laptop, and just the battery is this entire bar, right? So battery technology did not scale. So that's why the energy available to a sensor is very limited, extremely limited. So it is resource constrained sensor. Now, so if the sensor is resource constrained, how about security? How can you think of security of this sensor? This sensor collects some sense data and it sends it to the smartphone or whatever base station it is, right? So it will send the data to somewhere. Now, if it just sends the data, it's in the open. Anybody can read it, right? So it's not very secure. In order to have security in the sensor, what do you need to do? Maybe influence some encryption. What kind of encryption? What is an example of encryption that you can think of? RSA, right? RSA, if you want to really secure RSA, how many bits of key do you need? Close to 1034. Do you know how long does it take to complete? What is the computational complexity of RSA encryption scheme? You need to compute 2 to the power key, or no, the message to the power key. Right? So there is a key K. K is a 1024-bit number, and message N is some 30 bits number, let's say. So 30-bit number to the power of a 1024-bit number, and then you have to compute the mod. Can you do it in this sensor using microcontroller and 4 KB RAM? You can't even do it in a laptop. How can you do it in the sensor? So security is a big challenge in this kind of system. security from the sensor, or at every level, from the sensor to the base station, which is the smartphone, or from the smartphone to the cloud. All this security is extremely problematic. Specifically from sensor to the first hub. The first hub is very critical because the resource is so much constrained. Right? So security is a very important problem. So by the way, the notes, yesterday's notes are already, I think, uploaded in the lab. You can check. If not, it will be by today. Because I gave it to the meeting. Okay, so those are some of the issues of this system model. Okay, then we were talking about the other system model where you have the smartphone and let's say you have all these sensors, right? And you have a cloud, and we said that there are a lot of problems with the cloud, including latency, energy, and so on. So we said maybe let's just have a fog server. So this is our fog server. What is a fog server? We said it earlier, we discussed it. A fog server is a lower capability computational resource. Right? It's a lower capability, lower than the cloud. It's not the computational capability is not same as the cloud. So it's a lower capability computational resource, but it's much closer to the smartphone. Much closer means it might be in the same Wi-Fi zone. Right? It might be in the same Wi-Fi zone, or it is in a better network than the cloud. So that is what is the definition of fog server. But it is a lower computational capability server. So let's say this has a lower capability. Lower capability in terms of computation. But it is a faster network. It is a faster network. Now, what is an example? Where will you need fog server? Where will you need fog server? So we are trying to answer that question, and we came to I was going to introduce some aspect of brain mobile interfaces. So cognitive computing, some initial aspects of cognitive computing. So without going into much detail of cognitive computing, we will talk about that later. Let's take an example application. So this application, by the way, on the first class, did you meet Pusha? Pusha was there or not? Jawad was there? Jawad was there. Okay, he is one of the person working on the brain mobile interface applications that we have in our lab. So one of the applications that we did, developed was is called Safe Drive. This is the application that we developed. The scenario is that you know about autonomous cars. Like there are autonomous cars everywhere. We see that. Now the problem with autonomous car is that according to several predictions, what people are saying is that we won't go from user-driven cars to self-driven cars at one go. Right? The logical step towards a self-driven community is that you go from user-driven car to semi-autonomous car, and then to autonomous car. So semi-autonomous car means what? The control remains with the driver, but there are certain aspects or certain functionalities in the car which can be automated. For example, if the driver is driving the car and some computational algorithm predicts that there might be impending collision, right? And then the computational algorithm also sees that the driver cannot respond or is not responding in time, then the computational algorithm can take control over the braking system and brake. That is one example of semi-autonomous, right? So in that scenario, so let's consider that this is a semi-autonomous car. And in this scenario, we are thinking of a driver who is getting drowsy during driving, right? So it's a long night. The driver is driving on a freeway. It's very boring to drive on a freeway in the night. So driver is getting drowsy. So you can think of a semi-autonomous functionality that says that, okay, let me predict, or let me at least detect the drowsiness of a driver. Can I detect drowsiness of a driver using some variable sensors? So what you can do is, what we showed we can do is, we can use brain sensors. Brain sensors on drivers to detect drowsiness. Now there is a lot of questions. How can I use brain sensors? Can I force every driver to wear a hat while driving? That's a very unreasonable assumption, and most people won't do it. Right? You don't want to wear a hat or a very elaborate brain sensor while driving. That's not true. But let's say you want it. Let's say you agree to wear a brain sensor. Yes, it is not very practical now, but maybe in the future. Maybe in the future it might be practical. So let's say you are wearing brain sensors. So these brain sensors can detect drowsiness. Now, what a functionality can be imagined, that there is a collision detection or collision prediction scheme. Right? There is a collision prediction scheme. What does this collision prediction scheme do? The input to this collision prediction scheme is the surroundings. So surroundings means there is video stream of the surroundings of the car. Autonomous cars have this. There you will see that at the top there is a camera in circles. So you have a video stream of the sun. So this is typically 360-degree video and 360-degree video stream. Then you have the car sensors. So these car sensors include what? They include speed, right? There is the speed sensor, there is the tire pressure sensor, right? Wheel torque, and many others. So using these sensors, the output of the collision prediction scheme is that in tau seconds into the future, tau is a Greek symbol for time. In tau seconds into the future, what is the probability of an accident? That is the output of this collision prediction scheme. So how probable is an accident? In the next, maybe tau seconds means maybe next 5 seconds, or next 10 seconds, or 30 seconds. What is the probability of an accident? Now if this probability is high and the brain sensor says, okay, the person is drowsy, you can combine these two information and you can say that, okay, the autonomous functionality of the car should kick in and should take control from the driver. So that is an application that you can imagine. Now this is a typical application of IoT. We will talk about that much later in the course, but this is one example IoT. There is a thing where you are just combining all sorts of sensors and coming to conclusion. And this is an exemplary application of Internet of Things. So we will talk about that later. And what we'll find out that Internet of Things is just a big hoax. It was there from the beginning of time. Not the beginning of time, but from the beginning of variable sensing. Internet of Things was there. So this is one example application. So now the problem is these brain sensors, the sampling frequency is 1000 hertz, right? And these do not have just a single channel. These have about 5-10 channels. So 10 channels of 1000 hertz frequency. That means how many 100,000 data points per second. These 100,000 data points per second has to be analyzed to find out drowsiness. Now, what is the drowsiness skill? You probably have to use some machine learning algorithm, either machine learning or deep learning techniques. So you cannot really execute machine learning or deep learning techniques on a smartphone. Till date you cannot. And maybe in the future you will implement it. But as the technology stands now, it will take a long time. Not that you cannot, you can, but it will take a long time to finish executing a deep learning technique of detecting drowsiness. Right? So you have to use some sort of server. You have to use some laptop or some cloud services. Now the thing is, there are two options to you. One is a laptop that is being carried by the user and it's in the backseat of the car, and this laptop has, let's assume that it has some sort of connectivity to the internet. And the smartphone of the user also has some sort of connectivity to the internet. That is one option. So what is that option? You collect brain data into the smartphone, send it to the laptop, it computes, gives the result. The other option is the brain sensor data is collected into the smartphone, it sends it to the cloud server, computes, comes back, gives the result. Now the thing is, you have to have a drowsiness detection result within the reaction time of the driver, right? So what is the reaction time of the driver? What? 0.3 or 0.4 seconds, right? Within 0.4 seconds, so 400 milliseconds, you have to send not only just 1 second of brain data. You need at least 5 seconds or 10 seconds of previous brain data. And you need at least 10 seconds of previous brain data to compute drowsiness. Right? So you need to send 100,000 multiplied by 10, so even the 10 times 100,000, right? For 1 million data points, you have to send to the cloud server, either to the cloud server or to the cloud server. They have to compute on that data, give you back the result, or decide whether the car should be the autonomous functionality of the car should be enabled or not. Right? Now, computation on this huge amount of data, if you do it on a server, cloud server, it's very fast. Maybe it will take you 0.2 seconds. If you do it on a laptop, slower than cloud, but still faster than the smartphone, maybe it will take 0.3 seconds. So 0.2 seconds for the cloud, 0.3 seconds for the laptop. But you have to send this 1 million data points over the network to both the cloud and the fog. Whom do you want to send? If you send it to the cloud, it might take you 0.5 seconds itself to send the entire data to the cloud. But if you want to send it to the fog server, it might be done within 0.1 seconds. Because of the close proximity. So in that case, using a fog server is much easier, or will actually meet the deadline of 0.4 seconds. So within 0.4 seconds, you have to give a result. Right? So in such scenarios, fog servers become very important. That is the use of fog server. That is one potential use of fog server. Another use is that was told to me by another student in this class in the last class. I forgot to tell you. So what he told was, since fog server is close to you and it can be a personal device also, what you can do is you can run context sensitive or security sensitive, or better term, privacy sensitive information, privacy sensitive computation on that fog server, which you may not trust in the cloud. Right? So that is another example where you might use fog server. So that is the port system model. Now an extension of this box server idea is it is the fifth system model. The fifth system model is an extension of this box server. So what is the extension? So again, you have a smartphone, you have the sensors, right? You have this box server, and you have a cloud. Okay. By the way, so Fox server we saw the advantages of the Fox server. What are the disadvantages of Fox server? Computation speed is low. Whether it's a single server, you cannot do much parallelization. What other things? Other problems can be there? Yes, you cannot store that much amount of data. So storage computation. What is another problem? What is the problem of recovering all? So reliability is yes, I will give you that one. So reliability is what he's saying is that cloud is maintained by an enterprise. So they will have better reliability standards. Whereas Fox server is just a random server that you are using. Or it might be personalized also. But it's just a random server that is close to you. So that might not have better reliability standards. So computation, storage, reliability, what else? What do you mean power?
Energy, we use Fox server in energy, rapid train transfer.
Why do you care? It's just a server. You are using it, might be just transient.
Example, we are using the previous example, we are using the
Oh, okay, so in that case, so yes, that is another problem. That clock server battery goes down. That's what you do. The availability, basically availability. So that comes to the same point as reliability. Right. Any other problem?
Fox server will be dedicated to a particular sensor in the presence of multiple sensors. So due to the requirement,
Typically not, because Fox server is a general computation platform, right? You can send any sensor data to Fox server. It's not sensor specific. Fox server is not sensor specific. It's any general. So laptop may not be sensor specific. Laptop you can send data from any sensor.
but only a single sensor takes too much space for storage and computation. Then the other
So limitation. That is the same point as computation and limitation, storage limitation. But there is one important point that is missing.
Fox server is basically only be useful if you are in proximity to the Fox server. If you go somewhere else,
You will find a different Fox server.
data privacy.
That we saw, right? That Fox server has better data privacy. Now I'm saying disadvantage.
setting up a Fox server and using it might be difficult for a user.
Okay, apart from that setup. So that comes to the fact that an enterprise is maintaining a cloud service. Right? So that's why cloud the configuration should be very easy. Now apart from those points, there is one very important point. Think about machine learning or techniques or systems that are using machine learning. What do you need in a machine learning system? Huge amount of data, yes, but not only huge amount of data, but diverse data from diverse sources. Let's say you are doing a gesture recognition, right? Example of gesture recognition is that you read this paper. Last semester we had this paper. We were discussing one paper, two papers every week, right? So that we can do here also. We discuss papers from next week. But maybe that paper we can discuss. So there was a paper where they devised a technique. The authors devised a technique to draw in the air. So you can draw, you can write in the air, and whatever you're drawing, whatever you're writing will be registered in this one. Okay. So basically what it means that it is doing gesture. So you do gesture, you draw a circle, so it says okay, you drew a circle. Now how do you know? A person can draw a circle like this, or he can draw a circle like this, or like this. There are many different ways you can draw a circle. How do you detect that a person drew a circle? So what you need to do is you need to collect circle drawings from a huge pool of people, right? And then when another person draws a circle, you take that data, whatever accelerometer data or orientation data you can find, you take that data and compare with that huge set, and you get a result that okay, this is the circle. You use deep learning, right? That is another hoax you debunk that as well. So you do that. Now, how will you get this diverse set of data? For a given Fox server, either it is personalized or it is very limited to, it has very limited storage. So in a Fox server, you cannot have access to a diverse set of data. So whenever you are having applications that need a machine learning technique or that is using deep learning, which requires a database that is diversified from different people, right? In that case, Fox servers are not very useful. If you need just personalized data, then maybe Fox servers will. But you cannot use a Fox server when you need a diversified set of data, right? So in that case, Fox server, that is a disadvantage of Fox server. The next thing is, in a Fox server, you cannot do distributed computing. You cannot parallelize to 1,000 threads or 20,000 threads and execute. You cannot do that. So in order to, so two things. So let's write this. So disadvantages of Fox. We have discussed many things, but two of the most important things is A, you do not have diversified. I will talk about diversified context information. And now we haven't really defined the term context. We will define the term context maybe next week, middle of next week. We will define mathematically, theoretically, ideologically, we will define many ways context, right? So we'll talk about context later, but let's say we know the term context. How many of you know the term context? What do you mean by context? What is context? Yes? Information about the environment, right? Information about the environment or about users, right? Just in general information which you can use to represent an environment. Oh, is the time off? Oh, we are already out of time. Okay, so we'll restart our discussion next time.
Next to me, like this.